There are 5 main roundabouts in Newcastle under Lyme. Today, we are going to focus on the Sunken roundabout. Now, come on, if this is going to help you, show me some love and stick a like on. Doesn't cost much and it helps me massively. Now, the Sunken roundabout has been here since 1960. It used to actually have a pool in the middle, but that's gone. But I don't imagine it was as daunting then as it is now if you've got a driving test. So throughout this video, I'm going to show you each entrance and exit to the Sunken roundabout. I'm going to show you where the major problems are that I often see and what we really need to look out for and the easiest way to actually get out of these roundabouts. And then hopefully you can avoid the mistakes that so many other people make and pass your driving test first time. So the Sunken roundabout does have 5 exits. We will always be on exit number 0, going in a clockwise direction. First exit, second exit, third exit, fourth exit, and back on ourselves, 5th exit. So you have an idea of which exit's which. You have the A34 exit, which is by the hospital, often used as an entrance to the roundabout at the beginning of your driving test, rarely used as an exit at the end of your driving test. Then you have the Morrisons exit, which is often used exiting the roundabout, but currently never used entering the roundabout, as it's a monster of a hill, so it's lucky for you. Then you have the exit, which I will refer to as towards Aldi, which is the opposite end of the A34. And again, this is often used as an exit for your driving test, but it is also used as an entrance for your driving test into the roundabout as well. So we need to know this exit inside and out, and it's quite a tough one. Then we have the exit to the market, which is never used for anything, so we're not going to worry about it too much because there's nothing there. Then we have the exit, which is the ring road towards the bus station, which again is regularly used exiting the roundabout and entering the roundabout on your driving test. So it's another one that we're going to cover in depth. The first exit we're going to cover is the A34 entrance into the roundabout by the hospital. This you would normally start off coming from the driving test centre, entering the roundabout. If you'd like to take the first or second exit, we're going to be using the left lane for that. If you want to take the third or fourth or 5th exit, you're going to use the right lane because they're past 12 o'clock. If you don't know what I mean by this, imagine your steering wheel's a clock. 12 o'clock's at the top. If your exit is past 12 o'clock, you're going to need the right lane because it's past the 12 o'clock mark. Anything 12 o'clock or before is likely to be the left lane, unless obviously it's a spiral roundabout, which none of these are, or this one isn't, this one isn't. For your driving test, from this position, you're most likely to take the 4th exit towards the bus station, like so. Now, the first problem you're going to come across when entering the roundabout from the hospital A34 is there are always cars parked on the left. So once you get to this point, which is getting towards the end of the road, you can see the cars parked on the left. You need to start checking your mirrors and thinking about moving across into the next lane along. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a bottleneck. We're now approaching the roundabout and you can actually see the green sign on the left there. We want to take the ring road Stoke-on-Trent A52. So this is where we know we need the right lane. Now again, this roundabout takes a bit of practice on the judgment side of things because otherwise it can seem a bit confusing with trying to judge a space. But I'm approaching the roundabout, check my mirrors and pop a signal arm. Nice and tight to the curb, and then it's just trying to figure out where the cars are going, and you're looking for space. Now there is a space there, there's a cyclist slowly moving, but that's giving me enough room to hug the roundabout, get out nice and quickly, and just keep hugging the roundabout. Once I'm just past this previous junction, I check my mirrors and I signal off to let the people behind me know, and I come off in the left lane. Now, if it's safe, always come off in the left lane. If it's not, if there's a car there, don't come off in the left lane. Instead, come off in the right lane, and when it's safe to move across, then move across later on. The next exit we have is towards Morrisons. Everyone hates this exit and entrance because it's such a big, steep hill. It's terrible trying to get up on the roundabout from the hill. I know people that have avoided it for years, even once they passed their driving test. Luckily, there aren't currently any driving tests entering the roundabout from this, only exiting. Exactly the same as the previous junction. First exit, left lane, second exit, left lane, third exit, left lane, fourth exit. With this particular roundabout, first, second, and third exit, you're going to use a left lane, but you can also use the right lane for third exit as well in the right lane, or you can use the right lane for the fourth exit as well. Now, if you're on your driving test, as I say, you are most likely to exit towards Morrisons, not into the roundabout from Morrisons. And if you do have to do this on the driving test, it's going to either be from Aldi, where you're taking the 4th exit towards Morrisons, or it's going to be from the bus station where you're taking the 2nd exit towards Morrisons. If it's from the bus station route, it's going to be using the left lane. If it's from the Aldi route, it's going to be using the right lane, but I'll show you more about this shortly. But I'll tell you more about this and show you shortly. Monster of a hill. It puts a fear into God of everyone. So take your time and use your handbrake. So I looked, could see it's clear, continued on again. As I passed the junction before, check my mirrors, pop a signal on, and off I go. The 3rd exit that we're going to look at is from Aldi entering the Sunken roundabout. Now, as I said before, if you are on your driving test, there are 2 routes you could take from here. Chances are you're either starting off your driving test, in which case you're probably going to take the 2nd exit needing the left lane, like so. Now this is from the Aldi side of the roundabout, and you're going to be expected to go one of 2 ways at the moment. You're currently going to be expected to go to Stoke-on-Trent, which is the 2nd exit, which you need the left lane for. It also says it on the road. We don't want to signal because it's the 2nd exit. Even though it looks left, it's a 2nd exit, so do not signal. We're looking right, we've got a good clear view, and if we think we've got space, we go around in the outside lane. As we pass the junction, check our mirrors, pop a signal on, and just follow our lane nice and tight to the curb. Or you could be towards the end of your driving test, in which case you're going to be using the right lane, probably headed towards Morrisons, aiming for 4th exit, which you can do like so. Now there is some slight confusion with this entrance to the roundabout. This is the Aldi entrance. A lot of people take the 3rd exit in the left lane, which you shouldn't do. The signs clearly say you shouldn't, so whether they're doing it accidentally or on purpose, I don't know, but it causes some major issues for the junction from the bus station. Now, if you're on a driving test, you may very well be expected to take the 4th exit. I think this is possibly the toughest. This is where I see the most struggles from, and that could be because of how difficult it is to assess where the cars are going. But as we approach the roundabout, we need the right lane. We assess if there's a car coming, and in this case that person's signaling, so we know they are. This one's not signaling, but they are. Their position is nice and tight, and we keep looking, and they're going right, so we've got enough space to go out. We hug the roundabout, we stay nice and tight to the roundabout all the way around. As we go past the previous junction, we check our mirrors, we signal, and we come off to the junction nice and straight. The final exit that we need to look at is the 4th exit, and this is a really important one. It's particularly important because it's quite a tough entry into the roundabout, because sometimes people go in the wrong lane, as I mentioned before. But if you're using this exit on your driving test, if you're entering the roundabout from your driving test, you are either going to be taking the 2nd exit, in which case you're going to need the left lane. Now here we're going to take the 2nd exit on the roundabout from the bus station heading towards Morrisons. So we need the left lane. Now this is really the toughest junction, really, because a lot of people end up coming around the roundabout in the wrong lane. And when they do that, it's hard to predict which way they're going, which makes it harder to judge. The roundabout's also built up, and it's built up on purpose, so if you can't see the cars coming round, that's an opportunity for you to go, not to wait for more cars. On your approach, you're already looking to the right, you're already trying to judge, and there's one coming around in the wrong lane now, and you're already looking. So after this van, it's looking like there's a space, so I'm taking that space and I'm going in the left lane. As I pass this junction, I check my mirrors, I pop a signal on, and I come off here. Now this is what I'm talking about, going down the hill. You've got to be careful. There's pedestrian crossing down here. Sometimes people confuse that with traffic lights for the roundabout. They're not. You still need to look, so don't just drive through without looking at the roundabout. Now from Morrisons, if you want to head towards the bus station, you can use either lane, the left or right lane. I would suggest using the left lane for normal driving, unless you're planning to overtake, in which case then use the right lane. Or the 3rd exit, in which case you're going to need the right lane. Here's some examples. Now the other way you're going to be expected to go on your driving test currently from the bus station is the 3rd exit right. And again, this one is slightly tougher because cars come around the roundabout in the wrong lane, and as you exit the roundabout, you should be coming off in the left lane, but if someone's going too fast, they can already be there, which means you need to come off in the right lane, and this can be quite daunting if you're learning to drive. So as we approach the roundabout, we check our mirrors and we pop a signal on. We're already looking, we're not staring at the cars in front, we can see them there. We're looking for space on the roundabout so we can work out if they're going to go and if there's still going to be space for us to go. We also need to judge if the cars are in the right lane to come up here, but that can be difficult if they're going the wrong way round the roundabout using the wrong lane. So here we go, we're looking to the right, and if we can't see a vehicle, that means we're going. Where's this guy going? He's going round, he's just forgotten to signal. Lorry signaling off, so that's an opportunity to go before the next car gets to us. So we're hugging the roundabout on the right, and as we get past our previous junction, we check our mirrors and we signal to let these guys know. We check to our left, and we move into the left lane. So we check our mirrors, we pop a signal on, we're looking to the right already. We're not too worried about the car in front, because if we're looking to the right, we're going to know if they've got a space, and we're trying to assess where the cars are going. That van's very tight to the outside, which means he's coming off of that junction, nice and clear. So I hug the roundabout as we're going round. As we pass the previous junction, I check my mirrors, I pop a signal on, and I start merging across into the left lane, provided it's clear. If it's not clear, I come off in the right lane and then move across to the left lane when it's safe to do so. Now, taking the second exit in the left lane isn't too bad, as long as you don't go too fast and you manage to get out the roundabout okay. The right lane can be a little bit tougher, and the main bit you've got to watch out for is as you go around the roundabout, you need to try and get into that left lane, as I mentioned before. But there are occasions where the car comes from the previous junction a little bit too fast, in which case you've got to be aware of that by making sure you're checking your blind spot on your left, and if there is a car there or there's any risk involved, instead come off the roundabout in your right lane, and then when it's safe, move across back into the left lane. If you are expected to take the second exit on this roundabout, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, but do be aware you're going down that big hill, then you've got some pedestrian traffic lights. Now, these are not traffic lights for the roundabout, it's a pedestrian crossing, so if the lights are green, do go through the lights and then wait at the roundabout, double checking it's clear. Don't assume that the lights are green, which means you can go on the roundabout without looking, because that's not the case. That is it for the Sunken roundabout. Let me know in the comments if you want to see any more. If this has helped, and please don't forget to like. Give me a little tap on that like button. I'm Josh, the driving instructor, and I'll see you all soon.